Are you finding it more difficult to stay on track with your weight loss and wellness goals now that fall is here? Trust me, I really do get it because I know that fall is such a warm, cozy season, and it tends to be a time where we lean into comfort foods, lean into being a little bit less active, and begin to stray away from our daily routines that make us look and feel our best. The season of sweaters and comfort food can make it easy to lose momentum, which is why I am here today to share with you 5 of my favorite go-to high protein, fat burning, delicious, cozy fall breakfast recipes that will not only taste delicious, but help you stay on track and aligned with your wellness goals this fall. By no means do I claim to be a chef in the kitchen, but I will say that over the past couple of years, I have racked up tens of millions of views on my simple and easy recipes because my mission really is to create meals, to create snacks, to create recipes for you and I that will make us feel good, but won't sacrifice our results. I'm a foodie, I love eating, and if you're watching this video, you probably do too. Let's dive into some easy and realistic and delicious recipes that all of you, and I promise I mean all of you, can make at home right along with me. The first recipe that we are making today is one of my go-to meal prep, but also breakfast options that I make literally almost every single week. They take under 5 minutes. They are packed with wholesome, real ingredients, and you're going to love them. They are banana-based. If you wanna spice it up even more for fall, you could also add some pumpkin puree in here, but we're going to be adding that later in our bagels. First, I want you to take 2 to 3 ripe bananas. You're just going to put them in a bowl. Super simple. You just mash them up until you get a really ooey gooey consistency, and then we are going to add the rest of our ingredients. Next, this is totally optional. Sometimes I add flax, sometimes I add chia, but for this recipe today, I am going to add in some chia seeds because why not get an extra little bit of fiber, which will help us stay full, but also great for getting a higher protein count. The amazing thing about this recipe is that you can really make it your own, add in whatever you want. Sometimes I even actually add in nuts, which is really delicious. You can also add in baking powder, baking soda, that will just help it rise. And now comes the easy part. Next up, we are going to add our egg. So I really try to only buy pasture-raised organic eggs. I feel like, ooh, whoopsies, we definitely don't want any shells up in there. I feel like when you buy this type of egg versus like a non-pasture raised, non-free range, non-organic egg, you can literally see the difference in the yolk. Purchasing this type, yes, it's a little bit more of an investment, but you are also definitely getting more nutrients out of the egg. Obviously the egg in this recipe as well is helping with a higher protein count, which we are always striving for. Now that we have the wet ingredients in, we're going to add our flour. So I sometimes make it with a mix of oats and almond flour. Today, I'm actually going to be using a little bit of coconut flour along with almond flour. To be honest, a lot of the time, I just kind of eyeball this recipe because I've made it so many times. I will definitely put the measurements for all of you on the screen so you can revert back when you're making it yourself. It also depends on the size of your bananas because it can make the mixture more wet or a little bit more dense depending on how much banana you are adding in. This is actually looking a little bit runny right now. We want it a little bit more thick than this, but let me go ahead and add in our protein powder. So I'm adding in Chuvani. This is the banana cinnamon. It complements this recipe really well. And as you know from my last video, Chuvani is one of my vegan protein powders because they really focus on whole, clean ingredients. There's only 7 ingredients in this flavor. I understand and can read every single one of them. So I'm always looking for that when I am reaching for a protein powder. And if you want other recommendations along with other things to look for in a protein powder, you can check out my YouTube video. Next, we have the easy part, which is just putting the mixture into our muffin tins. Again, depending on the size of the bananas, it's going to make a different amount of muffins for everyone. This should make around 6 protein-packed, delicious, yummy muffins. And I don't know about you, but like muffins for me is such a classic fall snack, and there's really nothing better than indulging and eating a little delicious, nutritious filled muffin. If you guys have ever come across any other healthy muffins at the grocery store, please let me know, but I seriously think that you will not get anything healthier and yummier than this. Next up, we have our creamy protein oatmeal. And I don't know about you, but I love oatmeal. It has gone such a bad rap over time, but it is such a core childhood memory for me. I literally used to not wake up for school in the morning until I could smell my mom making me oatmeal. So back then it was a little bit less nutrient dense than the version that I make now. But that kind of inspired me to find an oatmeal or create an oatmeal recipe that will keep me leaving full. I think the issue with oatmeal is that people will have it naked in the morning just with oats and whatever base you're putting in, whether it's water or some type of milk, and not focusing on adding a protein, adding some fiber, adding different ingredients that kind of makes it more of a complete meal. But that's why I'm here, because I am going to share with you my secrets of my famous, I'm gonna call it famous, protein creamy oatmeal. First things first, we are going to put 1/4 of oats. I think the other issue with oatmeal is that people will put like too much oats. They'll use a 1/2 cup or 1 cup of oats, which can start to make the recipe a little bit like carb heavy and caloric heavy. For 1/2 cup of oats, there's 190 calories, so divide that by 2, because we're using 1/4. Still got it with my math. I believe that's 95. So it doesn't really look like 1/4 of oats is a lot, but once you mix in everything else, trust me, it definitely is. Next, we're going to add in whatever you want to use for your base. I'm going to use 1/2 cup of water. You can also use almond milk or regular type of milk, whatever milk you use. And now there's 2 different things that you can do for protein. You can put in an egg white, 1 to 2 egg whites. There are 6 grams of protein per egg. So if you put in 2, right there is already 12 grams of protein. I am saving my eggs today for some of the other recipes that we are making. So I decided to substitute with collagen. Collagen is another ingredient that I will use sometimes in my oatmeal. I'm going to put 1 full scoop. This is 18 freaking grams of protein, but along with the eggs, so the eggs and the collagen kind of give the oatmeal the same effect. It makes it creamy and delicious, and I feel like that's just what our body craves in the morning. I am adding some cinnamon. I love the taste of cinnamon, but it is also great for balancing blood sugar. And then I'm going to go ahead and add in some flax seeds. Kind of like the muffins, you can make this recipe your own. You could also add chia to this. I want to say that this is probably about 1/2 teaspoon. Again, flax is just amazing for extra fiber and can help things get moving in the morning, especially if you have, like gut or digestive issues. There actually used to be a time where I believed in my mind that I would not be able to, I'm just gonna say it, have a bowel movement in the morning without my oats, because obviously oats also have a lot of fiber, and with everything mixed in here in general, I just felt like it was the perfect recipe for me to go to the bathroom. So that really worked for me, and I'm gonna share that because honestly, I know it's a taboo. None of us like talking about it, but it's an issue that a lot of us have. We have all of our ingredients mixed in here, and I just put it all in a pot. You don't need to mix it in a bowl and then put it in a pot. That's just too much work going on, especially in the morning. Just mix it all in your pot. We are going to put it, damn. We are going to put it on the stovetop and just let it do its thing. Cook it for about 5 minutes. Keep stirring it. Keep your eye on it. And then I'm going to show you how to top it to really, truly make it that final full complete meal that will keep you full into lunch. I just took the oats off the stovetop. They're looking nice and creamy. And now we are going to add our other ingredients that are going to make the meal complete and delicious. Here I have pure coconut dairy-free yogurt. My favorite is Coco June because again, the ingredients are super minimal and it is also low sugar. I think there's only 2 grams of sugar and it's just natural sugar. Adding that in. And then I also have almond butter, crunchy, which is nice because it makes it a little bit of a crunch. Mix that up. Giving the recipe some fat content that will also help keep us full throughout the day. And then we are going to add berries. So I have blueberries here. You can add whatever fruit you like. So this baby right here, we have protein from the collagen, from the flax seeds, from the almond butter. And I'm going to say it comes in just under about 30 grams of protein, and this will keep you full for your day ahead. This is a recipe that I make on repeat, especially in the fall, because I love starting the day with that like cozy feeling in my tummy. That's what oatmeal does for me, and you guys need to try it, but make sure you add in all of our special mix-ins to make it that full, complete meal. So I don't mean to brag about recipe number 3, which is 3-ingredient high-protein pumpkin bagels, but this recipe got over 25 million views on Instagram, just saying, and is definitely a great, healthier, high-protein, low-carb, gluten-free alternative to a regular bagel that we can all enjoy guilt-free. Obviously, pumpkin is a very seasonal ingredient, which is exactly why I decided to put a little twist on the viral recipe and make a pumpkin version. So we're going to take half a cup of pumpkin puree. I'm actually cutting this recipe in half because I just made this recipe this week for Instagram and we don't need a million pumpkin bagels up in here. So I'm going to do half a cup, but regular recipe calls for 1 full cup. We're then going to take 1/4 of Greek yogurt, and that is really kind of the star in this recipe because Greek yogurt has so much protein. If you are dairy-free like me, you can opt for a thicker, creamier coconut yogurt, but to be honest, you're not going to get that same high protein count. I tend to find when dairy is baked in something, I'm less intolerant to it, so sometimes I kind of just suck it up in order to try this yummy deliciousness. So I put in 1/4 of Greek yogurt to start. Again, sometimes you just kind of have to experiment once you add everything in. And then we are going for 3/4 of a cup of almond flour. Again, normally this would be a cup and a half, but I am cutting everything in half. Now, the fun part, mix, mix, mix. This is always optional, but you can add in some baking powder as well. It does help it rise. I'll do one final mix in the bowl. So you can kind of see how the mixture is looking a little wet, which means we do want to add a little bit more. Ooh, that was kind of a lot, that's okay. Almond flour so that the bagels will better kind of hold together. Now for the little bit of the messier part of the recipe. Oh wait, actually, we want to actually put some flour down, almond flour, whatever flour you're using, on a cutting board before we pour the mixture on to knead a little bit. Kneading, again, just kind of helps everything stick together. My little trick is that I like to put some, ooh, that's a lot, some olive oil on my hands, and then we knead it up. So I don't know if any of you have made sourdough or have made your own bread loaves before. Kneading actual dough looks and feels a little bit differently, but this is just done to help keep everything together, make sure everything is mixed properly, and make sure you get the olive oil on the hands. Okay, this is looking pretty good. I'm going to cut this into, I think I'm just gonna make 2 bagels today. You're going to take the mixture. You can make smaller bagels, you can make bigger bagels. Roll it in a ball. I like to just use my finger to poke a hole literally in the center, and then there you have it. It's kind of like a pumpkin donut, but we're gonna go with bagel because I feel like it's because of the Greek yogurt, it is more savory than anything. Honestly, these are so delicious, and if you are a bagel lover, I feel like bread, like I mentioned with the muffins, in general is just, for whatever reason, something we lean way more towards in the winter and in the fall. So it's really important that we are finding and creating our own healthier versions of all of these comfort foods so that we don't fall off. If we eat bagels every single day for 4 months, that are filled with wheat and other preservatives, and there's empty carbs, there's no protein in it, we're probably going to stray away from our goals. So this is exactly why I experiment in the kitchen for all of you with all of these crazy delicious recipes so that we can keep feeling good and feeling fresh and alive in the fall and winter time. Now that the bagels are formed, I am going to put them in the air fryer. Now you can totally bake them in the oven as well. What I've been finding with my bagel recipes lately though is that the air fryer is just making them so crispy and delicious, and I'm kind of totally preferring that. But if you don't have an air fryer, I have the Our Place air fryer. It's so aesthetic, so cute, and actually has a bunch of different functions. I love it. You can totally just put it in your oven. I recommend also for you to put an egg wash on top, and then we take cinnamon, give a little sprinkle, because cinnamon on everything, why not? And we are going to pop it in the oven. The bagels are going into the air fryer at 375 for 12 to 15 minutes. All of our ovens, air fryers, everything bake everything differently, so keep an eye on them, and you can flip them halfway through as well. Moving on, last 2 recipes while that finishes baking. My final 2 recipes are more on the savory egg, really high protein side, so I'm super excited to share this with you. This is the easiest meal prep ever. There are 2 ingredients with an option to add a seasoning on top as well, and that is literally it. We are making oven roasted turkey breast egg cups. I am only, again, going to make 2 of these today because I'm a little low on eggs with all of my recipe making, and we also had some eggs for breakfast today. All you have to do is take some turkey. Please make sure that it is organic, because cold cuts are super processed to begin with. So we want to make sure that we are choosing a really good option. I am using Applegate, which is a product that I got at Whole Foods. So essentially the turkey breast acts as a muffin tin. You just place them right on in. Take your organic pasture-raised eggs and plop them in. It's as easy as that. This would literally take, if you made a whole tin, again, under 5 minutes for a really awesome meal prep, just like that. Again, optional to take some seasoning to give it a little bit of extra flavor. I'm going to add some thyme. And then all we do is pop them in the oven. These little babies, if you were to eat 2 of these, but honestly, I think for a full meal, you could probably eat 3. Again, eggs have 6 grams of protein, plus There are, I believe, 11 grams. Let me double check that. Yes, 11 grams of protein per 2 slices. So even if you had 2, that alone is almost 25 grams. Add a third one and you're over your 30 grams of protein goal for every single meal. Put these in the oven at 375 for 12 to 15 minutes. And there you have it. It is literally so easy. Let's get these in. I think our bagels are also looking pretty good. They are almost done. And we are moving on to a breakfast tortilla, but not any breakfast tortilla. We are doing the viral breakfast tortilla, and I am going to show you how. The best part about our 5th and final cozy, yummy, delicious, protein, nutrient dense, packed breakfast recipe is that you can really make this one your own. You may have already seen it online, but I'm going to show you up close and personal how to make the viral breakfast tortilla. You first want to begin by choosing your tortilla. I am using the 7 cassava flour tortilla, and you definitely want it to be bigger in size because we gotta fit in all of our mix-ins. 7, I'll have some of their products populate here, but they are a really great brand that sticks true to their values of sourcing foods from real, whole, clean ingredients, and honestly, I love them. Here are the ingredients here. Let's get to it. So you first want to begin by taking a knife and finding the middle point and cutting straight down. That is going to allow us to fold it later on in the game. Okay, I'm going to take my avocado. There's really no rhyme or reason in terms of what ingredients you place where. I'm flipping the avocado over this way, so I think it's better to choose something that will stick a little bit better to the actual tortilla. So I'm gonna mash that here. Of course, we need to get some protein in there. So we are going to cut up our eggs. I hard boiled these this morning. It's really great to prep the things that you need in advance to just make your life a lot easier when you are trying to make some time for healthier protein-packed meals and snacks. So we just place the eggs in this next quarter. So you want to think about each part of the tortilla as its own quarter. Next up, I'm going to take my turkey bacon. And if you're wondering why turkey bacon is better than regular bacon, it's because it is lower in calorie. It has about the same protein count, but there is less fat. So this is a really great option. It tastes just as delicious and you need to try. Okay, we got our protein, some fat, and now we're going to add some greens. I really do make sure in the morning, even if I'm having the creamy oatmeal, that I also am mixing in some greens, some vegetables, so that our body gets the fiber that it needs and keeps everything moving. Now we are going to make our tortilla. See how because this was something that actually stuck to the wrap, everything didn't fall forward. So the avocado is kind of acting as glue. We go like that. We flip it again. Turkey bacon is in there. And then we do our final flip and we have everything nice and locked in, ready to hit the frying pan. Because obviously we want to make it just a little bit more crispier. So I'm going to place some olive oil in the pan. Make sure it's on medium heat. Super easy. We take our tortilla, place it in the pan, and let it crisp up. As you can see, the viral breakfast tortilla is so simple and easy to make, especially if you already have some of the ingredients prepped and you can just throw it in. It's so much yummier putting it on the frying pan because it gets nice and crispy. This is going to be my lunch. I'm very excited about that. And while we're making our tortilla, our bagels and egg cups were also finishing up in the air fryer and in the oven. Those are also looking amazing. I am going to save this as breakfast for tomorrow, and this will probably be maybe a side dish to a breakfast. I think I'm onto something. I think actually pairing one of the bagels with 2 egg cups, that's a really great meal right there. You got the carb from the almond flour, you got lots of protein happening between the two, and most importantly, I know you are going to love all of these recipes. And there you have it, 5 delicious, high protein, cozy fall meals that will not derail all of your hard work and progress that you've made throughout the year. Trust me, it's easy to stay on track when you have simple, wholesome options that are really easy to make. I think that's part of the key in all of this that I showed you today. All of the recipes are so simple, all only require minimal ingredients, and it's seriously foolproof. Anyone can make any of these. So whether you're opting for a nutritious seasonal breakfast or you're just wanting to grab a quick snack while you're at home, these recipes definitely have you covered. Thank you guys so much for watching today, and make sure to check out my recent video, the best protein powders for weight loss for a woman. See you next time.